They call you the heavy haul giant for a
Right,
reason, because
right.
obviously you do heavy haul trucking.
Nah, because I'm a giant
Oh.
in the heavy haul trucking.
Oh,
I'm one of the only ones that put it all together. So I still drive, I own the truck, I own the equipment, and I do some of the loads that a lot of guys don't do. I had to switch it up a little bit, but I'm sure we'll get into that. The whole boom, 2022, 2023, 2024. Guys were literally strategically placing trucks in my lane, right? And a lot of them guys, in the long run, they kind of lost out doing that because they didn't realize trucking has nothing to do with money. Nothing. It's all knowledge based. It's your experience, your knowledge, and your ability to adapt fast. I look at scaling a business by increasing assets. So it's about what you're worth at the end of the day. Just stay focused, stay on your grind, block out the outside noise, put in the work. And I don't mean work harder per se at the specific task, but work harder at the knowledge. I work less and make more. Now, I worked harder in my younger days and made a lot less.
time is money, so don't waste time when it comes to weighing your load. Download the Catscale Weigh My Truck app today. It's simple. It lets you weigh, pay, and get back to your business fast. Just pull onto the scale, open up the app, weigh your truck, and you're done. Look out for the black and gold Catscale sign and get a weight that you can trust. It's backed by the Catscale guarantee. Weigh what we say or we pay. Download the Weigh My Truck app today, available in the App Store or at weightmytruck.com. Now let's get back to the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This your man, Joe Gipp, Heavy Haul Giant. I'm kicking it here with my guy, Rahmel, and you are now listening to the one and only Truckin' Hustle.
Hustle fam, we are back with another amazing episode. And today, we have a friend to the show. He's back. I got the Heavy Haul Giant in the building, Joe GIbson. What's up, my brother?
Man, another day. Appreciate you having me back, you know?
Hey, listen, man, it's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah, it has, man.
How long has it been? What was that, like 2 years? Almost 3 years, maybe?
23.
20, so almost 3 years. It's
Almost
been that
3
long.
years. Yeah.
Since then, you've you at Freight Fest. You on the stage at Freight Fest.
Philly first.
Philly first.
Yeah.
You did Philly too.
No, I didn't talk, but we was in the building.
You talked at Florida.
Florida first, then we showed up in Philly, and we was set to take the stage.
Yeah.
But you know, Wallow, he created his own schedule. Shout out to my guy Wallow.
He definitely just took over the whole joint.
He did that.
He did. So then we did. And then after that we did Freight Fest.
Freight Fest. Yeah.
And
exactly.
so two networking events, one conference, one podcast. I got hundreds of thousands of views.
Okay.
And now here we go. We back again. We back at it, man.
I mean, it makes sense.
Hey, man, I think if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, man.
Facts.
So talk to me, man. What is new in your world, my brother?
Man, 23, man, I had a son, right?
Congratulations.
Yeah, okay.
What's his
So
name?
he's 3. His name Austin, but I call him Deuce.
Okay.
And then
Hold on. Why is he Deuce? You're Joe.
Yeah, well, you know, I had a son before.
Okay.
So he's my second son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. So got my little guy Deuce. My daughter's getting bigger on me. My older kids are in college. Yeah, I started over. So, but other than that, nah, life is great, man. Trucking, still trucking. I had to switch it up a little bit, but I'm sure we'll get into that. So, and then, just living life, man. Living life, you know? Yeah. Facts.
Okay. Living life. All right. So let's bring people up to speed.
Okay.
You are the heavy. They call you the heavy haul giant for a
Right,
reason, because
right.
obviously you do heavy haul trucking.
Nah, because I'm a giant
Oh.
in the heavy haul trucking.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
different. Yeah.
What does that mean? Expound on that. Why is it different?
So I'm gonna tell you why it's different, right? Because you got guys that may own $1 million worth of equipment in the heavy haul, but they work for a company. You got guys that may own the company, but they don't have the equipment. I'm one of the only ones that put it all together. So I still drive, I own the truck, I own the equipment, and I do some of the loads that a lot of guys don't do. I mean, you take for independent small business, and you're doing 20-foot tall loads, you're financing projects sometimes where you may have bucket trucks on a $300 to $3,500 per day pay, per diem or whatever. So when you look at that, to have the financial means, the ownership, and then also the knowledge, and then also the physicality to do it. Because most people that own that type of equipment, that own everything, they're like 70 and 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? So they're not still behind the wheel. So I'm one of the ones to put it all together and then also do it on that scale. So that's why I, coined that phrase.
Okay. I love that. All right, so I'll start here, man. How has the industry been treating you, man? It's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
How has it affected you and your business personally?
I tell you this. So the equipment that I have is pretty universal. So I can go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 axles. I can haul any load between 5 to 11, right? Well, in the past, I got a lot of the 7 and 8 axle loads that paid very well. Now, I don't know when the last time I've really hauled, like I would even say back-to-back 7 or 8 axle loads. I'm almost always primarily 9, 10, or 11 axles the whole time. And that's kind of uncommon because what happens is when you do that, now the truck might move once or twice a month, as opposed to before, a lot of the time I was doing like 8 axle loads where I might do 5 out of the port in just 1 week because I'm just kind of shuttling maybe New Orleans to Baton Rouge or New Orleans to Pensacola. It's just something like that. I was keeping it short, but I might do multiple loads. So it created more home time. And the beauty of that too is with the home time, my wife decided to go back to school. So I'm home more now to help around with the kids, you know what I'm saying? And I love it, man, because sometimes I might pick my daughter up and drop her off 5 days a week. And that's something I hadn't done. So I know my older kids, not only do I know they're jealous, they told me they're jealous. It's like, yo, Dad, where you was for us?
Yeah.
So, it's great. I'm not going to lie, I love the home time.
So was that by design?
No. So when we did the whole boom, 2022, 2023, 2024, guys were literally strategically placing trucks in my lane, right? And a lot of them guys, in the long run, they kind of lost out doing that. But in the short term, when they were placing trucks there, what was happening was that they were consuming those smaller loads. So now you have some of the local guys that's permanently purchased those trucks, and now they're kind of eating up 5 and 6 and 7 axle loads. And it's cool. I mean, I don't knock no man for taking a step to put his family in the best position. So I love it. They call me and ask me questions. I help them. It's not a competitive thing for me anyway. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, it works because I'm still around. It hasn't affected me and my numbers didn't change.
When you say placing trucks strategically in your lane, you mean your lane as in what you normally do, or you're saying your specific lanes? Like what
Specific. So what happens is I had a guy reach out to me. Actually, he's from Maryland, right? And he told me, he's from D.C. And what he told me was, he was like, yo, Joe, because I was doing consultations at the time. And he reached out to me. He was like, man, listen, he said, I had a 4-plex or either 6-plex. And he said that he sold it for $1.7 million. He took all of that money and dumped it in the trucking. And by the time he decided to call me, he was down to $60,000. So I'm like, yo, how did you go from 1.7 to 60,000? He said, man, it's just the industry. It's like I just kept pouring money in thinking it would change. Well, I asked him, I said, well, what did you do with the truck? He said, man, I put it in New Orleans. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you put it in New Orleans? So the whole time what he was doing was you had people that would call and ask questions, and then you had people that felt, I'm just going to mimic what he do in his area, and I'll make what he makes. So I was like, wow. And I didn't know that. So then when I talked to a couple of other people in the industry, that's when they started telling me that they noticed that, you just had a lot of out-of-town trucks posted up at the truck stops. They were parking there, sleeping there, staying there. And I was like, wow, it would have never been something I would have thought to do because my area doesn't call for me to leave it. But a lot of them guys, they were sending trucks to our areas, Miami, New Orleans, and Houston, and parking them in our area and watching the load board. I've even had some of them call me and ask me, how can they get around certain things because they weren't permanent loads. So it was crazy. I would say 24 was when a lot of that stuff kind of started to rear its head,
So, okay, so I'm just trying to understand. What was this a result of just like publicity, notoriety, being known? Like how are these people knowing about this work that you're doing? Like
no, so like when we would do the resets or we would do the truck and hustle interviews or just talking about, like just live interviews where we were speaking live because, me and Wild was doing a weekly show.
Yeah.
So when we were doing those shows, we would talk about, the money in the industry and stuff like that.
Got
so when they
you.
learned what type of money, some of them would just call and say, hey, man, I'm interested. Can you teach? Some of them would just try and mimic what you did without calling. And then that way they just figured that they would come up that way, I guess.
Okay, okay. So you literally like you gave the game, you put it out there, and everybody just flooded the market.
Oh, they flooded it, yeah. They came. Man, look, it was the gold rush all over again. For real.
That's kind of wild, though.
Nah, it is.
When you think about the power of media and the power of, just being a known person, right? Like just putting your story out there, what that could do.
The funny thing to me was, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to share this information because I know it's no way they're going to find the funding to buy $100, $150, $200, $300,000 trailers. And when I tell you they were buying these trailers, and that's when I started realizing, like I was talking to different people and I started calling it mortgaging grandma's house because it was so many people that had property that was left to them where they took loans and they started losing these properties because they didn't realize trucking has nothing to do with money, nothing. It's all knowledge based. It's your experience, your knowledge, and your ability to adapt fast. Like you can be on the phone with a broker, right? And this broker is talking to you and they may be asking you questions. And if you don't really understand what they're asking you and how that can change things, like for instance, a broker may say, listen, I got a load that's 13.6, right, from the ground up. And he may say, give me a price. And then when you get there, they may say, hey, bro, I'm sorry to tell you that, but this load is actually going to be 13.9. And you're thinking, oh, that's cool. It's only 3 inches. That 3 inches is a determining factor of probably needing bucket trucks possibly or needing high poles, going around, out of route, might be out of route another 200 miles or so. So it could be a true game changer when you don't really understand the industry. And that's what people didn't realize. You can have all the money in the world. That doesn't matter. I've watched my account go up and down over the years, but it never affected my ability to sustain.
Yeah.
So it's knowledge. It has nothing to do with money. Money helps. It makes it easier. But if you don't have the knowledge, you're not going far.
Right. Which is the case with your guy who he was talking about, right? He's trying to throw money at it, and it didn't work out for him.
Nah, it didn't even, what he realized is that, and when he called me, he owned the truck. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, what kind of trailer you got? And he's like, well, I'm thinking about renting. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, you had $1.7 million you didn't buy? He literally had $1.7 million he didn't buy. He rented a trailer. So I'm thinking to myself, like, that wasn't a smart move. I mean, at least if you get tired or it doesn't work, you can always sell. You got something to recoup some of your money. So, but great guy. We talked. I did like so what I was doing was like I had a consultation with dudes who pay like $250 for an hour, or I would do $125 for 30-minute session, and they would ask me questions. I felt like that was a more fair way to help people and not put out like a program or something, because I felt like with a program, you would never know enough or remember what all to put into it. So, but if you're physically talking to me, asking me questions in real time, I can give you real time answers and not just package something and hope I put enough in it.
Right.
So that's why I did that. And I helped a lot of people, man. It was great. A lot of people came to me, reached out, and it was awesome. I kind of got burned out with doing that, so I stopped and just started focusing on trucking, because I realized it's like you can only divide yourself up so much. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, Coke don't give Pepsi advice. So at the end of the day, it's a business, and everybody that comes in, a lot of the time they enter as your friend, but they leave as your competition.
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful of who you're helping sometimes. I realize if you create I'm done with helping people mentality, that doesn't mean that you're not going to help anyone. That just means you're going to be way more strategic about when you do help. You may see somebody who's really, really trying, and then you look at them and say, man, listen, come over here, bro, because I see you're not going to quit. So let me just come over here. Let me give you some game right quick, Right. So, but that's the ones you want to help, the ones that's committed. There's always going to be a new crop, and you want to teach that new crop the proper way to come into it, because it makes your job harder when you don't. I mean, a guy that's taking a load for half the price of what you will haul it for, that creates a different competitive edge toward you,
That's
So
right.
you do want to help some people, but be mindful,
So when the market, so what year was this when the market kind of got flooded, for lack of a better word? What was this?
Okay, so I would say 04 is when it kind of slowed down.
24.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 24.
Yeah.
24. I've been around so long,
Okay,
04, 14,
same
24
thing,
is
right?
all the same.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
so what was the first indicator for you? Like, when did you know you were like, oh man, it's a leak. Things are about to change.
So when you start asking for pricing that you used to can get from a broker and they looking at you laughing, that's when you kind of realize like, whoa, why is he laughing? Like, I know this is the numbers. And then, we went through a transition where, that's just what it was. You just couldn't get the number that you wanted at the time and that made sense. And I'm not going to lie, some numbers may have been fluffed at one point where, it's like, okay, well, I can really do this load at 70% of that number, but, if I can get it, I'm going to get it.
That's right.
So that was a reality check. And then for me, my yellow unit, which is my big unit, had went down. So I was cool. I just jumped in one of my other trucks and got to it. But yeah, that was when it hit me. Like, that was the sign, like, when you just start asking for certain numbers that you used to get, that they're just not honoring them, or like they're literally laughing. Like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So, for me, for what I do, more often than not, I can almost always get the price I'm looking for when I start putting 9, 10, 11 axles down. But the reality is those loads don't come every day. So now you kind of working once a month. And I got used to that. So I'm comfortable with that now because, like I said, it feels good putting my kids on a bus. And it also feels good not doing so much work. It's more psychological, like when you go from working 3 days a week to working twice a month. It's more psychological. But, if the money add up, then go with it.
Yeah. But these are relationships that you built, like, over time, right? Or no?
No. So now if you think back to last time, I told you I could care less about dedicated freight because I'm more of a hired gun. So in other words, like, I had a customer reach out to me this week. He has a load down in Houston that's coming up to the East Coast. The guy loaded the load, and when he pulled out the driveway, he dragged it and damaged it. I'm the guy they're going to call next to go move that load. I'm going to get the name, my price, but they know one thing for sure. When I pick it up, it's going to find a delivery, and you won't hear from me until I get there when I'm sending you paperwork. So for me, it's different. I like being more of a hired gun, and the reason why is because I'm doing one load to their 1.5 or 2.
Yeah.
So I don't want the quantity. I want the quality.
But you never had those kind of relationships at all throughout your time?
Probably more or less flatbed.
Flatbed?
Yeah, flatbed, step deck, stuff like that. Now, I have had relationships where customers have tried to attach, but for me, it's like this. Look, my pricing usually pushes them away from consistency. It's not that they don't want the quality, but the price is not sustainable full time. So if you're moving 100 loads a year, you can't afford to give me that price over that amount of loads. But you will almost always need me at least 12 times out of those 100 loads.
Gotcha.
So that's that 1 per month type deal. It's a rush load. It has to get to the port. It's an emergency. It's over height. They don't trust someone else with it. So that's the ones that fall in my lap. And then if I have enough customers that does that, then that allows me to keep my price point, work less. But when I do the load, I have to be effective.
Okay.
There's no room for error.
So if we could paint a picture from what you were hauling to what you're hauling now, like those 8, 9 axle loads, right? You said you do what?
Like the
axles, you said?
Oh, yeah, from anywhere from 9 to 11.
9 to 11 axles.
Yeah.
What are the difference? Like, let's just talk about what are you moving now as opposed to what you were moving before.
So same things. Like I may have been moving like a D6 dozer. Now I'm moving maybe D8s and D9s only.
Gotcha.
Or like just the other week, I hauled a 135,000 pound winch. Whereas with 8 axles, you're usually not going above, I'm going to say probably like 93,000 pounds. So now I'm staying on a higher end on a weight class. And then so far as commodities, I'm still hauling crated. I'm still hauling machines. I'm still hauling cranes. I'm just doing the bigger units as opposed to the little. Now, one of the benefits for me was when I brought my trailer, I brought it new. I kept it for 2 years for like without any alterations because of the fact that I wanted to see what the warranty, how it would hold up over warranty for the first 2 years. So after that, I voided the last 3 years of the 5-year warranty, and I got the trailer cut, got it modulated, paid $100,000. So then once I did that, now what that did was position me to be versatile. So now I run beam, and my beam is sectioned to be inserts. So I can insert them. So my standard length is like 29 standard, 36, 46, and then 53. Now, what that did was that opened my ability to haul long, short, and intermediate loads, which allowed me to be able to haul more freight. So my whole thing is I'm usually not looking for one particular freight. I want to haul everything, but I want the emergency side of everything. You know, I don't want to just haul the regular load. Every now and then I might find where it's like, because I'm also the type of person, once I save money, I don't want to touch it. So if I see where, okay, the trailer notes due and I ain't do nothing this month, then I might go out and take one of those regular loads and say, okay, now I made a little something, I pay the trailer note, and then next month we'll get back to what I'm wanting to do.
Right.
So, you know, you just play it smart. It's a numbers game, you know, and that's what you do.
What does that change on the compliance end for you? Do you have to up your insurance or anything like that, or is there any differences or no?
Yeah, no, it's all negotiable. So I run 250,000 cargo just like all heavy haul guys do. And then if needed, then we'll buy an additional policy. So in other words, if they need $500,000, we'll just buy additional 250,000. And we'll pay that for that particular load. And then we're back to 250.
Okay.
A lot of the major brokers, they carry contingencies in their policies anyway. So a lot of the times you don't need it. And then also they'll fix pricing to where sometimes they won't even tell you that they're running additional coverage. They'll just take your 250 and then they'll add the difference and they'll say, okay, I can only pay you this. But the whole time it's usually because behind the scenes they're buying additional coverage to make sure the load is good. So if they're moving $1 million load, you're just covering the first 250 like a deductible, and they're covering, you know, the other 750 basically. So,
okay. Okay. So right now, overall, you'd say the heavy oil industry is what? If you had one word to define it, what would it be?
I think it's still great. I think it's great. I think a lot of guys, because I mean, like, okay, so let's look at it like this. You almost always have construction guys in every city that does most of the city work, contracts, etc. So these guys, a lot of them didn't know the type of money that was involved in the industry. So they usually wouldn't use their trucks to move loads for competitors or for the port or something. Their loads were primarily their own equipment. So now you have a lot of those guys that are infiltrating the industry as well. They're saying, hey, if we can make that kind of money, we'll move loads for competitors. And that's fine, you know, but for the independents like myself, with my knowledge, the industry is still great. Like I haven't found a drop off in the industry at all. I've always made the same money. I just had to change up how I made the money. Like I say, going from making easy money with 7 and 8 axles to now I'm primarily stuck and relegated to 9, 10, and 11. But that's cool. I just work less and make the same money. I tell a lot of people, like for myself, I'm not looking to make $1 million a year with heavy haul. My thing is, if you make $200,000 or $300,000, you're kind of making the same money. Because when you think about it, what is your home time? What is your quality of life? You know, like I just turned 45 a couple of days ago. So now that matters. You know what I'm saying? Home time, quality of life and stuff like that. So you're either going to be $250,000 to $300,000, which is pretty much, I want to say, probably the same tax rates. And then from there, you're probably going to be $500,000 to maybe 3/4, like $750,000. And then from there, if you get into the next range, that's great. But I wouldn't sacrifice another $50,000 just to be $50,000 rich and pay, you know, taxes. Because whatever you can buy with $250,000 a year, you can buy with $300,000 a year. It's the same thing. Right. So that's why I tell people, you know, just be smart about how you make your money. And it goes by your kids and stuff like that, what ages they are. And just kind of when you go on your mission, you know, because all that matters when you enter the industry about making a plan. A lot of people plan forward, I plan backwards. So I look at where I want to be at 70, and then I work the plan backwards and say, okay, I need to be here by 50, I need to be here by 60, I need to be here, and I'll for sure be there by 70. Yeah. You know, so a little different, but, you know, it works for me.
Okay. How do you plan your I guess your week or your month? Like, what does that look like for you when you're thinking about what I'm gonna do? How are you planning?
So honestly, what I'm doing is,
and why do you smile like that?
Nah, because I'm going through the motions in my mind. Like, yeah, this is good. Like, this gonna be a good week. Yeah. So look, so what it is I do have regular customers that call me though. Yeah. So what it is these are brokers, not shippers. Most of the regular people that call me specifically for shippers. I've had shippers that I work direct with. I kind of rather work with the broker because I can have a bad day and fuss at them real quick, and I don't damage no relationships. So, you know, like why you give me this piece of, you know, load, etc. Right. So anyway, now I love it though. So what my week looks like is I'll watch the load board a lot because I'm always on the load board looking because I do want to see what's out there.
And what load board are you on?
You want me to name it?
Absolutely.
I'm a truck stop guy, you know.
Okay.
So anyway,
name it. I mean, they ain't paying us, but it's cool.
They ain't paying us, yeah.
Maybe they will after this.
Get your weight up, truck stop. But I roll with truck stop.
Why?
And it's okay. So I like the flexibility of what they allow. The other truck stop, I mean, low boards are good, but the problem is that for years, truck stop used to kind of let me look further out, and they still allow a little more distance to look out, but you do have to be crafty with how you search the board. But again, forget them. They ain't paying nobody. I'm paying them. It should be talking about me.
That's right. So holla at the giant, man. Truck stop. Holla at your guy.
Get at me.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and work that out, man.
Man, do that, man.
A little management fee or something like that.
Sounds good,
Okay,
man.
keep on going.
So what I do is I study the board. I'm always on the board. I'm looking because I'm not looking at the board for work. That's not why I look at the board. I look at the board because I want to see how things are trending. So when I see that there's a large influx of trucks, say, New York or wherever, Baltimore Port, now I know what's going on. And it starts a pattern in your head. If the trucks are congregating in Baltimore, it's a port city. That probably makes sense. But if the trucks are congregating in Kansas, now I need to look at what's being built in Kansas. Why is the rates dropping in Kansas and not here? So that's kind of what I'm focusing on. That's why I'm studying the board. Now, so far as loads, I have people who consistently call me for work anyway. But it's not like most people where they have one broker. I have brokers that have worked with me in the past that know I can get things done. So they reach out to me and say, hey, Joe, listen, I got a load coming up. Are you interested? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? And then they'll tell me length, width, height, and all that good stuff and where it's going. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get it done because I know it's something that I can do. I have other customers that I know they're going to call me based off the projects they own because most times when you have a company working in a plant, they can only get so much equipment in and out. So they may have you filtrate different type machines and, okay, we're going to need the cranes in this week. We're going to need that in. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm taking phone calls, monitoring loads and stuff like that. And then outside of that, I'm also studying the board just to kind of see how things are trending. That helps me start researching areas and know what's being built. Do I want to get to that area? Like I said a couple months ago, I reached out to a friend and I'm like, yo, listen, can I come park out there? And he was like, yeah, what's going on? I said, well, listen, I need to get on the East Coast because right now I'm getting a bunch of phone calls for machines for a beam trailer and I want to be on the East Coast. And then I'll just reposition and go on the East Coast. I could fly home when I want to be home. And so that's really what it's about. It's just about being smart about studying the board, knowing what's out there, knowing what the competition sometimes is doing, sometimes not worrying about the competition at all. When it's working for you, just stay focused. And when it's not, then start digging around and see why it's not, what's happening. And that's kind of how I spend my week. Most of the time I'm doing that. I'm studying everything and monitoring it and just trying to make the most sense of it. So I give you an example. Last interview we did, I told you, I said, I ain't worrying about dedicated freight, right?
You did.
What happened to all the people that was hauling dedicated freight?
They out of business.
And I had so many people tell me, man, Joe, you crazy. Like I seen the ugly side of the internet when that happened. It was like people like, yo, bro, you crazy. And this dude crazy. He don't know what he doing. Why is he even on Trucking Hustle? Yeah. Trucking Hustle bring the best only. right? Right? Yeah, so he was like, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see in time. You have to know how the game is trending. If you don't know how the game trending, you don't belong in this business. And that's the reality. You got to study the trends.
And since we got the heavy haul giant on here, I got to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Catscale.
Okay.
Catscale has a new app. It's called the Weigh My Truck app. And if you ever have to weigh your truck, use the app, download the app. You could pay and everything on there. You don't got to go in and see the Paymaster. So if you support Trucking Hustle, go download the Catscale Weigh My Truck app.
Catscale. I got that app. I got that.
You got that app?
I got that. I've been having it for years. But Catscale, this is what I need from y'all. Okay, since y'all attached to this, right?
Okay, good.
We need those axle, what they call it, where you weigh multiple axles, right? It's called like the doubles and triples, right? We need control of that. We need to be able to press the button and say, hey, weigh this axle, and then weigh this axle. Because with Catscale, you pull up on the scale and they just weigh you at once. Yeah. Well, when you long and you got the heavy haul giant on your scale, right? I need to be able to weigh 3 axles and pull up and weigh 3 more. So give us control of that, Catscale. We got you. We're gonna make you a lot of money.
That's a fact. What's happening in the world that's interesting to you, that's going to create new opportunities for heavy haul? Are you globally, AI is out there, like data centers. Is that something you're interested in looking into? Talk to me about that.
Honestly, I'm be totally honest. I'm kind of focused on continuing the path I'm on. Just sporadic and moving freight for the customers that want to pay. But when you start talking AI and stuff like that, a lot of that's great. But the way I see AI is replacement. I don't see it as advancement because
Expound on what you mean by that.
So replacement is putting AI in a position to remove us as opposed to advance us. So far as the carriers. So if you're not like one of the top tier carriers, then AI is not your friend. It's your competition. And all you can do is advance it quicker. So in other words, if I tell AI, hey, listen, I'm doing this and doing that, AI is registering everything we're talking about. That's how it's getting smarter.
Right.
You know, so for me, I mean, I'm just trying to, the good thing is for me, I'm on the back end now. You know, I'm probably right in the middle, but I'm in the middle leaning toward the back end of work, right? I mean, I think they say you retired at 67, 66.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm right in the middle, but AI is cool. I see the advantages. I talked to a friend of mine the other day that talked about how he uses AI for everything, permitting, like what states require this and that. I don't even have ChatGPT. I don't use it at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Google guy. I'm still a Google guy. Yeah, maybe I'm getting outdated, I guess. I don't know. This will work for me.
Okay.
But I tell you this, they using a lot of AI and they still calling me for advice. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I listen to it. My wife's a big ChatGPT person, but not me, not really. I think it has its time, but I don't think it's yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was more so talking about building the infrastructure for AI, not necessarily using the actual AI, but more so like moving the shit that's gonna power the AI, right? That's going like that somewhere being built in West Bubblefuck somewhere. You know that these big semiconductors and all these things need to be moved. Like that's an opportunity for like flatbed, heavy haul, so forth and so on. That's what I was more so talking about.
So I'm gonna tell you the secret to that, right? And I know I'm gonna get some company in a minute once I share this. But what I've always done in the industry is when the whole industry moves west, I go east. The reason why I go east is because whatever they were complaining about on the east, they just left it wide open for me. So I'm still gonna get my numbers. I had a customer that called me with some data center loads, right? And these loads were picking up in Houston and they were going to Louisiana, probably 350 miles. And those loads were paying, I wanna say 32, 35,000, okay? And the guy kept stalling us every day. Hey, listen, I think we're gonna move tomorrow. And I think we're gonna move the next day. And each day he did that to us, right? I show you text so you know it's facts. Yeah. Okay. And I called him and I said, listen, I said, if they delay us one more day, I'm off it. And the guy was like, you gonna let 30-something thousand go? And I told him, I said, well, what good is 30,000 when I waited 30 days to haul it? You know how much money I could have made in 30 days? Like, it's just like a lot of the time, man, when you get into them spaces, you find a lot of guys that feel like they can treat the next man any kind of way. So I say that to say, like, a lot of them projects, I don't run to it because I'm still a man at the end of the day. So it's a respect thing. You know, it's like, listen, I'm out here, I'm ready to work. I got the equipment, I put the stuff on the road, let's go. But with them, it's like, oh, you need this project, this is the only thing going. So a lot of times I go the opposite direction. And I love it because that same customer that was lowballing everybody else because it was 50 trucks trying to haul 20 loads, now it's one truck trying to haul 20 and now they paying me.
That's right.
So I just go clean up.
You're my observation is you're very contrarian with a lot of things. Like, it seems like when everybody, like you said, when people zig, you zag, right? It's like when somebody's saying that this is what it is, you're like looking for like the reason why it's not. Is that how you are with everything?
No. What it is the Warren Buffett effect.
Okay, so what's that?
Warren Buffett said, when everybody sell, you buy. So, but you have to have the vision to know what you're buying. So when everybody sell, I buy. When everybody buy, I sell. Because when everybody's buying, the price go up because it's a competitive thing, right? So now we have buyers. So everybody raised their price. And I'm one of the guys that raised my price and sell. So it's done by design. And I mean, I'm a fighter anyway. So I would do it because I'm a fighter. Yeah. But it fits, the philosophy fits me. So it's like, if everybody going east, I'm gonna go west. Because I see the value in picking up everything they left. It wasn't worth anything to you because you had one quarter of the coin. You know, now I can go get all four corners and now it's worth something. You see what I'm saying? So when you leave it all, I just go pick up the pieces.
Yeah. What do people underestimate about what you do, man? Like we just now had a story about this guy who jumped into the business. What are some things that people underestimate about the heavy haul industry?
A lot of people think it's easy. I tell them all the time, like, yo, you can go 100 miles with any size load and not hit anything. But when that phone ring, your wife, your kids call, and you lose focus for 1 second, you'll rip down a power line, hit a bridge. So a lot of the times they just really think that it's easy, and the reality is attention to detail, it's focus, is constantly being alert, is picking up the right routes and stuff. Like, I give you an example. It happened to me early on. I hit a canopy at a fuel stop, right? I was doing a load over height, and they had the pump set up where there was one pump with no roof over it, and there's almost always at like the mom and pops where they got one that's wide open, and all the other ones had a roof. And this was years ago when I first got my first low boy, and my wife called, and I'm like, damn, I'm talking. And my mind told me, go through the outside pump. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna go here. And my mind was going back and forward, and I wound up going through the pump. And when I went through that pump, there was a big old metal anchor where there was a lifting point, and it just shredded that whole canopy. So you just gotta pay attention, man. Be on your A game, because, you're gonna need it while you're out there. But I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. People think it's easy. They think it's nothing to it. Anybody can do it. And they get away with that mindset for a little while, but it costs you in the long run. You got to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah. How important is, I know it's important, but I'm going to ask you, how important is load securement, and what do you do to make sure that, is there like an ongoing training? Are you constantly learning with that? Or is it like once you know it all? Like, talk to me about that.
So the rules are the rules, right? The rules is 2 straps within the first 10 feet. If you have a bulkhead, 1 strap, and then 1 every 7 to 10 feet after. So those rules hasn't changed throughout my whole duration of trucking. So once you learn the rules, now you just know how to apply them. You also know that you have to cover at least 50% of the load, right? Meaning if the load is 25,000 and you have 3 or 10 5,000-pound straps, at least put enough to cover half the weight. So once you learn the rules, now you just continuously apply them over and over and over. If you have something with wheels, you want to put 4 chains per corner to pull against each other. And you just continuously apply the rules. But a lot of the guys, man, they lazy. They don't want to do the work. So, that's when they start to cost them. But for me, I continuously reapply the rules, continuously upgrade chains, 1/2-inch chains versus 3/8. I mean, you don't want to put 100 chains on there, so you just get the bigger chains. And you just make it simple. So load securement is important, man. Like families on the highway, your kids, your family, my family.
That's right.
So, it's all about, being safe out there and making the wise choice of putting more than enough. If they tell you put 50,000 on this load, it doesn't hurt you to put 70, pounds of strength, So, and that's kind of what I like to do anyway. I go above and beyond.
Yeah. Is there certain lanes that you like to run as opposed to others? Like when you think about that, like what are some of the lanes that you prefer? I
love my region, so I'm in the Southeast.
Yep.
I love the Southeast. I enjoy going to Florida. I enjoy going to really anywhere from Florida to Texas. The only 2 states in my region I'm not a big fan of going to. One is because of positioning, and then the other one is just because the state is just ridiculous. They need to make some changes. But I'm not a fan of Oklahoma because I don't like going that direction too much, but I'll go if I have to. And Tennessee, if I could avoid a load going to Tennessee, I will always avoid it.
Why is that?
The permitting process, the fact that you can send an insurance certificate in and they still might not put it in 6 months later. It's just nonsense. Like the state is just kind of backwards. They want you to put everything in online, and then when you put it in online, then they still have to personally go survey it. Like in Texas, if I put my stuff in online right now, I'm going to get a permit right at the end. Same thing with Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida. Alabama is a state where they hand check it, but the reality is in Alabama, you're going to get your permit in 2 hours minimum. Maximum. Tennessee is just, I don't know, man. I don't want to put them down too bad because I might have to go through that. But I wish I could tell you my true feelings.
I can dig it.
But yeah.
What has changed? Have there been any like regulatory changes or anything that's happened in the last couple of years that's impacted your business at all? Or is everything still kind of the same for the most part?
For what I do, it's pretty much the same. And when I say what I do, I mean the heavy haul side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same. Actually, it has helped me in a good way. I mean, not to relish in other people's loss, but just some of the ways that they've cut back on on trucking, starting new companies. Like they've changed a lot of regulation. So that has actually helped me more or less than hurt me. But all in all, no, it's pretty consistent for heavy haul because what we do doesn't change much.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. So let's help out some of the guys, because there's somebody here who wants to get into heavy haul and they're watching this and this is their opportunity. So we got to do a little bit of teaching while we're on here. So just educate them real quick. What type of freight falls under heavy haul in terms of weight? Like when does it become heavy haul?
So the true definition of heavy haul, a lot of the people with low boys are not even touching it. I was always told that when you get into multi-axle and you start transporting multi-axle setups, you have to start planning for axle groupings, things like that. That's when you're doing heavy haul. If you're just putting 4 axles on the trailer and 3 or 4 on the truck, to me, that's not really heavy haul. But I mean, it's heavier than legal. So that's great. But now, the true definition of heavy haul, is multiple axle groupings where you have a trailer, you have a Stinger, you have a Jeep, or you may have a Go-Hopper, or you may have something like that, like a lot of these new trailers coming out. So, and that's my true definition of heavy haul.
Got it. And you kind of alluded to this earlier, but what are some of the industries that depend on heavy haul?
Wow. So, I mean, a lot of buildings get shipped into the plants. So the refineries, manufacturing plants, stuff like that. We move a lot of press for like the car industry. Like they use a lot of press to bend metal and stuff like that. So we do a lot of press. We do a lot of creative material from the ports and stuff like that ship to different shippers. The machinery side is never leaving. I mean, there's always gonna be road construction, cranes, things of that nature. So the crane industry, and there's a host of industries. I mean, you can almost move anything because honestly, if it's permanently welded or bolted and it's over the weight, then technically you can ship it as one unit. And then if it's heavy enough, it's gonna be heavy haul. So that's great. That's always great. I love it. I mean, give us more. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
And then break down the trailer types for me. We built TNH IQ just for you. TNH IQ Smart Plan is your profit planner that fits right in your pocket. You build the real cost profile one time. Truck payment, fuel, insurance, tires, everything. And now every load gets judged in only 3 seconds. Evaluate that. Go to TNH IQ and sign up now for free at tnhiq.com/login. Let's go.
And you mean in what way?
Like you starter, like your low boy, like and then kind of go how you build it up.
So I'll be honest, I'm not too abreast on the bigger trailers because I speak on what I physically do. But what I can say is that so you have your 2-axle double drop. Double drop is a trailer that usually has a standard neck, is a mechanical neck. Okay, then you have your RGNs. I'm sorry. So with the double drop, normally you would haul crated. I mean, you can get like a 14-inch deck height. You can get 18-inch deck height. They don't normally come with high deck heights because they're not designed to haul heavy loads. They're designed to haul primarily tall, long, short, and wide. Most of your double drops will stretch open as far as 60 feet, right? And then you'll move into the RGN style. RGN technically means removable gooseneck, but mostly RGNs have the gooseneck style trailer, right? So, and of course, I don't want to skip one. So let's go back to low boy.
Yeah.
So low boy can have either neck, but it doesn't detach. It's a fixed neck. Okay. Then you go to RGN, which removable neck, and then from there you just kind of go up in axles, and each axle in most states will give you as much as 20,000 per axle. So when you're going up, you're adding 20,000 per axle, and then from there you'll get regulated by how many axles you can have in that group before you have to start a new group. So more often than not, you're kind of keeping maybe 3 axles per group. You can run 4-axle groups in most states, but once you go to 5, then that's kind of when they limit you. Like not all states will allow 5 axles. And then you kind of got setups like 2 axles, 2 with a flip, which means the back axle comes on and off, or it can flip over. You have 4 axles, 3 axles, 3 with a flip. You can do 3 with a Stinger, 1 sticking out. So now you got a 4-axle setup, but it's a 3-axle group with a single. Then you can do a 3-axle group with a 2 behind 2 axles, or you can do a 3-axle with a 3. Most 13 axles have the 3 and 3 because you'll have a 3-axle Jeep, 3-axle trailer, and then 3-axle Stinger. And, it just goes from there. You got your go-hoffers where they can kind of pin them together, and that's the ones where you see where the wheels are just consistent. You have you got this new style trailer. I can't think of the name of it, but it's out of my ballpark, man. It's not what I'm looking to do, because what I learned as an independent also, when you start talking about buying equipment, right, you want to be smart about it. So you don't really want to go above, I would say maybe 11, 12 axles. If you go 13, you can survive. But the reality is when you put 13 axles on the ground, you're looking to haul some serious weight. I mean, you're talking 150,000 pounds payload. So when you start talking about putting that kind of weight on the road, man, it get costly. And not a lot of people on an independent level could afford that. Yeah. So, it's a game changer. The bigger companies, they got access to trailers that we don't really touch. You got perimeter trailers where they open wide. And what happens is the sidewall may be 24 inches high, but the load sits countersunk into it. So you got a gang of different trailers: beam, drop side, RGN, double drop decks. You have a host of different decks that you can take off and on. So it's just a lot, man. It's fun because for me, what I do, I build my trailer for the load. So it makes it fun. Like I might leave this time with a standard RGN. Then I might come back, switch that deck out and put a beam on. Then I might come back and take a portion of that beam and use it as an insert and put my regular RGN on. Then I might play with the axles and go 4 axles this time. I might go 5. It just depends on what the state allow. But a lot of this is me doing this based off my knowledge and then my ability to put the axle groupings and set the trail up to haul the load. And that's really what it comes down to, having what the customer needs. Yeah.
So this is it's just having the knowledge of knowing what you need to haul the freight.
Yep. And I tell the new people, since we teaching, right?
Yeah.
And don't stress about it. Just
because it sounds like something to stress over.
Yeah, just learn as you go. Learn as you go. I didn't know it all in the beginning either.
Yeah.
I had to learn as I went. So at the end of the day, be smart about it. Take your time, learn, don't force it, because there's a lot to learn.
Right. So where do you start? What's the best way to get started? When you say be smart about it, if you're thinking about jumping in.
Right. So I would say start with the double drop or the RGN 2-axle. When you start with that, that'll allow you to learn oversize and overweight. Because more often than not, a lot of people who go to the RGN has already done some form of oversize on a flatbed or a step deck. But permit and oversize is totally different than permit and overweight. Oversize, they just give you one standard permit, long as you're within these parameters, and you're good. When you start talking about overweight, now you're getting into axle groups. You're learning how much weight you can put on this axle versus that axle, or this group versus that group. So I say start there. That way is extremely basic. Most states are gonna permit 2 axles, and they'll give you the max. You can get 48 in Louisiana. You can get 46, I think, in either Texas or Mississippi. I haven't been down there in a long time, but you can get pretty good weight on 2 axles. So start there. Learn the permitting first. That would be my first thing.
Learn the permit.
Learn the permitting, because once you get higher, permitting shouldn't even be a question. It should just be second nature. You should just be calling states saying, I'm sorry, once I get to this amount of weight, can I run that on 3 or 4? And the reason why you're doing that, one, because as you alluded to earlier, that they make changes in laws. But another thing, too, is you always want to kind of reconfirm. Like I give you an example. You can run a 4-axle group in Georgia. But if you go over 150,000 pounds, now you have to break that 4th axle off and use a Stinger. You can't run a 4-axle group in Georgia over 150,000 pounds gross weight. So, but in all states next to it, you can. So if you're going from Louisiana to South Carolina and you got to pass through Georgia, you're gonna have a problem if you're over 150,000 pounds on an 8-axle setup without a Stinger.
Yeah.
So it's just learning that.
What do those fines look like?
Well,
if you get caught being
okay, so good question.
Yeah.
So for one, you're not even gonna get a permit.
Okay.
So even if you go in now, they're gonna subtract 80,000 from 150 or whatever you are, and they're gonna fine you for being 70 or 75,000 pounds overweight. Put it like this: the average person, their truck's just gonna get confiscated because you're not gonna be able to afford the fine. It could be a $20,000-$30,000 fine because you got to realize they're charging you so much per 1,000 pounds overweight. So, that could be costly. You're probably looking at probably minimum 20,000.
They make it so you don't make that mistake, basically.
Yeah, nah, you ain't doing that.
Do you do your own permits?
Yeah, I do them all. I go through the states myself. A lot of them know me. Shout out to my girl, Miss Oprah over there in Georgia. That's my girl. But a lot of them know me, man. Most of the ladies in Louisiana, I've been doing this so long. A lot of the ones that are high-ranking managers and stuff, I remember when they started. I mean, we talking. I just celebrated 25 years, so we talking. 25 years, yeah.
Man.
So, been in the game a long time, man. I met a lot of great people. A lot of the women in the permit office, I talk to them. Sometimes I call an order a permit, and we end up on the phone 5 minutes past the, just talking. But yeah, I do them all myself, and I think everybody should go learn the rules, learn the regulations is important, and it will take you far.
Yeah.
So
and what goes into the permits, just to kind of explain at a level when you're doing it, and how long does it take to do, and is it different for every state? Like give it.
Okay, so for instance, if it's your first time,
yeah,
you want to get a tape measure, or I would say get one of the ones that you can roll the distance. You want to measure all axles from center to center. So start with axle 1, which would be your steer. Go to the next axle, write it down. Measure the next one, write it down. Once you get your axle spacings together, you want to know your tire size and the width of the tires. Now, some people are lucky to order the permits in a state that gives you that number, which means if you put like my tires 11R 22.5, it'll tell you the width of the tire. But some states you do it, they don't tell you. You have to tell the site that. So learn those things, learn the width, learn the axle groupings, learn the tire size. And then once you do that, once you get your measurements together, now you got to kind of understand how weight sets on your trailer. Because like, for instance, like I have an XL. When I put weight on my trailer, I don't care how far back I put it to the back, it almost always leans more weight to the front. So I can have 4 axles in the back and 4 in the front. I'm gonna be light on the rear and heavy on the front. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn your equipment and learn when it's heavy, where it's gonna land at, stuff like that. But other than that, man, it's just learning the measurements. The same thing that the permit office asks you for to register a permit is the same things that you're gonna put in the website. So they're basically asking you how long you are, how tall you are, how wide you are. And as you tell them, they're just typing it right in. So that's why I encourage everybody, learn it for yourself, because, I mean, you can save yourself, $35, $45, $50, or whatever they're charging for a permit. You can save yourself that money by just doing it yourself, because technically you are when you do the measurements. Right. You're doing it yourself anyway.
So you're just going online and you're entering this information, and then they just kind of verify it, and then...
Nah. If only way the state would get involved is if it's out of parameter. So in other words, if you're given 20,000 per axle and you try to put 21, then the system would kick it back. Okay. Now, like give example where the system doesn't kick it back, but Louisiana would, because you can put 48,000 pounds on a tandem setup, and a tandem setup is 2 axles back to back. So because you can put 48,000 pounds on that, if you try and do that in the wrong setting, which means you may have a 3rd axle next to it and it's actually a 3 axle group, then the site might accept it, but then the state gonna send you an email right afterwards and say you can't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So and that's actually good, because it helps you build that rapport when they start to see your company name and understand you. Now you're starting to become a factor in their thought process, because now they're registering, oh, there's a company such and such, I never seen this company. And then, over time, y'all build that rapport. But permitting is easy, man. I mean, you're doing the work anyway. You're taking the measurements. You're doing everything. Call the state, get set up, tell them you want to open up a permit account. They're going to give you a login, or they'll tell you where to go to log in. Some of them give you a paper. Some of them have lengthy process. New York is pretty lengthy. Ohio is pretty lengthy. But just make sure you complete all the portions of it that they ask you. You'll have a permit in no time. I mean, a permit account in no time. And then before you know it, you're up and running. And you're saving yourself. If you order 100 permits, and you're paying $55 per permit, yeah, that's another fee. And there's enough stuff to pay for already: pilot cars, height poles, all the equipment that you have to have. You don't want to be giving away, another $5,500 a year just on a permit and service. That's a fact.
So, how important is route planning, and how do you approach a new location that you've never been to before?
Yeah, I mean, so the beauty with that is when you have a permit, the planning is done. Because that's the purpose of the permit, for them to give you the route. But now, when you get into the space that I do with the super loads, that's when you hire a route surveyor to go out and survey the route. The state will issue you a suggested route, but your surveyor has the power to overrule it. basically, because he's going to go out with a height stick or check the width, check the turns, make sure your length can make that turn. And then once he does that, then he'll submit this to the state and say, hey, listen, I think this road is better based off of this or that. And then the state will acknowledge it. And then usually that'll become a new wrinkle in the permit.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How far in advance does that happen?
So most states, it's basically the start of the permit process. So in other words, if you're doing, say, like a 20-foot high load, well, when you not make the first contact with the state and letting them know that you're going to transport this load, they'll tell you, hey, listen, this load requires a route survey. Once that happens, they'll say this is the process to submit documents, whatever, for their portion. Then you go out and personally hire someone who's qualified to run that route, and they're your surveyor. Now, in Louisiana, what I like about Louisiana is I can go run my own route survey.
Okay.
And who's better to run it than the guy that's going to do the load?
Right.
But in some states, they have to have
Like
a license to do
certification
it.
or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's the beauty. But and I don't suggest running your own routes all the time, but for me, I'm more comfortable sometimes with going and check my route and just making sure everything is to my standard, because you got to realize being a pilot car has nothing to do with driving when you got 100 feet of trailer behind you. So for me, I kind of like going out there, but for other people, get the right people involved. Hire them, book them, send them out there. They'll give you a suggested route, and then from there, they go run a route. Most of the survey guys, they will go out there, and I would say if it's one state, they can do it probably in one day, depending on how large it is or how small. They can run that route and get it done in a day. Your most top-of-the-line surveyors, those are your $800, $850 a day guys. So if it takes them 3-4 days, you're paying them top dollar. You guys on the lower end, some of them, and it also goes by the height of the load. So if you start getting extreme tall loads, then the price go up more.
Now, is that something you can like build into the rate, or how does
Oh yeah,
that work?
definitely, yeah. Because the customer knows that if you're running a route, you're paying.
Yeah.
Well,
Would it be a
say
different line item, though, or you just kind of build it in yourself?
Yeah, no, you build it in yourself, because a lot of the times they just want one price.
Okay.
So you may email them a breakdown, but the contract usually will just be one set overall number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say this, though. Be honest with you, it doesn't hurt to have an understanding with the company or the brokerage team that, hey, listen, if these additional charges come up, your customer needs to agree to pay them.
Sure.
And I say that in the essence of bucket trucks, because bucket trucks are charging you $2,500 to $3,500 a day. And if you need two of those guys, you're paying $5,000 to $7,000 a day. So you may say something like, hey, I think this trip is going to take about 5 days, but we may be able to get it done in 3. Depends on the route. And then you may say, okay, so if it goes those 2 extra days that I'm thinking it will, does your customer agree to pay? And then, it's a negotiation. So it's whatever your brain tells you to speak on at that moment. You can't ask for enough. The only thing you can do is not ask for enough. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you want to ask. If you think you need a mechanic out there, let them know, hey, listen, I want a mechanic with me. I had a friend of mine call me and ask me, say, man, how do you price that? I say, you don't. Just call the guy and ask him what he wants. If he doesn't know, then have a suggested rate per mile for him. Say, hey, man, listen, how much you normally make? He may say, man, I can do 1,000 a day. Okay, cool. We're going 500 miles. Does $2 a mile sound good? You're like, well, hey, bro, it's your 1,000 a day. Right. You ain't got to do no work. You might just drive behind me. And he may take it. So you just got to think, man, this is a thinking man sport when you get to heavy haul. And
really
those
is.
who really think about the most things and come up with the best plan is the ones that get the outcome that they're looking for.
Yeah, it's literally like a project. Mm-hmm. Like every load is like a project. It's not like just delivering a load. This is like you're undertaking a project.
Exactly.
And there's team players and people,
Exactly. And the funny thing is, truck drivers, they undersell themselves because, believe it or not, there's a project manager on every job in some way, especially if it's big enough. There's a safety guy. But this is the thing. None of them have drove the truck. So when I go to a job site, I'm next to the top guys like, hey, listen, I got this. I need to come in this way. I need y'all to move this and this. Let me get in. I'll back up and I'll do this and this. They actually respect you when you do that because this is your equipment. You're driving it. You telling me you don't know what you need. I have to come out of my trail over here in the AC and guide you in.
Right.
Most of them want to say, hey, listen, that's my guy on the ground. Get with him. Y'all get it in. Now, when you're the only one that come there that can get it in safely and everybody else is having problems, who do you think they want to hire you again?
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of knowing what you're doing.
Have you ever had a situation where the route plan was wrong or something happened? Like what, and who's responsible when that happens?
Yeah, I had a load that I did that rubbed, it was concrete, and the concrete rubbed the side of the bridge. So it damaged like the corner right here. But the reality is the state had gave me a permit. The state sent me on that route. Everything was what it was. So what happens is they'll send someone out. They'll measure your truck, check everything out, make sure whatever you put in the system is accurate. Now, if everything checks out that everything's fine and you're with a top tier insurance company, then you'll be fine. If you're not, then you'll probably lose insurance coverage, but you won't be ticketed. And that was a good thing for me. I was on the right route where I was supposed to be within the right time. Rear pilot car, I had everything the right way. But the reality was I had a stinger. So when you have a stinger, if it's not properly aligned straight and locked in, you can't back up. You have to you have to set up in advance to back up. And that's one thing that people don't know. So when you're doing them big loads, you're not going backwards. If you don't know in advance that you need to go backwards, then you're not gonna be able to go backwards.
Right.
So,
You said you could lose your insurance that way.
if you damage something, yeah.
You damage something.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
is that typical? I mean, obviously insurance is to cover damage, but if you damage something one time, it's a wrap. It's done.
I mean, if you're a new carrier, I would probably say yeah. If you're new in the industry a year or two.
And I'm sure it has something to do with the cost too, like what
exactly.
you damage and how much it is.
Yeah,
right?
because what it is every insurance company have what is called a loss run. So with the loss runs, they're checking your track record, they're checking, your years in the business experience and stuff like that. And I don't think it's more that you cost us money. I think it's more on their side of the fence is that maybe we assess you wrong as a carrier. Because at the end of the day, the guys that's overseeing your policy is not the owners. So they're not watching the pocketbook like that. They're just looking at it saying, okay, this guy's 2 years in. He said that he's been driving 15 years. We insured him. But within 6 months, he went out and caused $300,000 worth of damage. So I think we assessed him wrong. So, yeah, you wouldn't be a good fit for us. And they'll probably back away. And I'm assuming, not in the room with them, but I'm thinking that's probably how that goes. I don't think it's nothing personal, per se. Yeah.
Now, GIbson Logistics has been around for what, 15 years now?
Yeah. No. Okay. So what happens is I put that name. So I have an actual company name. That's not my company name. That's my DBA.
Jesus, man. I thought it was GIbson Logistics. All right,
No.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
But that's a DBA.
That's your DBA. Okay.
Yeah.
Doing business as GIbson Logistics. All
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha.
So I brought that name on board. I know it's been more than 10 years ago because it expired and I had to redo it again.
Okay.
And it attaches to your name for 10 years.
Okay.
So it's probably 12, maybe 13 years ago I put it on.
So you've been in business is basically what I'm getting to for at least 13 years for yourself.
No, well, I started in 2007 originally.
Were you? I thought you started with somebody and then you started your own thing.
Yeah, so no, and 2007 is the first time I did Authority, 2007. Okay. And then I stopped for a while, and then I came back in 11.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
We just said 20, 25, 20, how much years?
In the industry, 25
25 years
in
driving, and then how many years in business now? So 07 is 19 years?
There we go.
All right, 19 years in business. You still a one-man, one-truck operation?
Yeah, no, I got other trucks. I just don't have drivers in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why have you decided not to scale your business and add other drivers?
So honestly, a lot of people look at a business as scaling by adding more trucks.
Okay.
I look at scaling a business by increasing assets. So it's about what you're worth at the end of the day. If you have 10, 15, 20, or 100 trucks running up and down the highway and you have loans on all of them, that's a headache. You have drivers that depend on you. You have insurance. You have upkeep and maintenance. What I'm doing is quietly growing my assets, and I don't need a fleet of people to do that. So I have trucks right now that I can say, okay, I need to make more revenue. I can say, hey, listen, I'm going to throw a drive in this truck, and I'll increase revenue overnight, right? But how does that correlate to actual value? Actual value is your assets. It's what you actually own that you can sell and recoup money from. So for me, that's what's more important. But everybody has their own strategy as to how they're doing what they're doing. So for me, it's more assets. Now, it's kind of like chess, right? you're going to accumulate all this, but what are you going to do with it? So for me, my end game wasn't just trucking. I wanted trucking as a pawn to get to the other side. Now, the guy that wants 100 trucks, if that's his game plan, then he wants the 100 trucks and he's not using it as chess. It's probably more checkers because you're just moving your pieces across the board to win. I'm not doing that. I'm using mine as pawns to get them to the other side and turn them in for something else. And that's more what my focus is. So I'm just trying to make a certain amount of money per year to invest elsewhere.
Have you ever entertained bringing somebody else on to your authority, or and how did that work out when it happened?
Yeah, so the last time I did it, I had 7 trucks running under me. They were doing $100,000 a month, and it was great. But they got 2 or 3 out of services in California, back to back, right? And these trucks were supposed to be inspected. They turned in inspections to me from truck stops that do inspections. They started breaking down. It's just a headache. Because like if you don't have the right team of people around you, it's either gonna work for you or it's not. I've leased trucks off and on since 2014. And I've had guys run with me for a year. I've had some run with me for 2 years. Some of your better people ultimately want to be their own company. So those guys will usually come in and they'll go. They'll be the best, but they're not going to be around forever.
Right.
So you almost always end up with guys who, I mean, you got to babysit them, man. And my mindset is not like a babysitter's mindset. I'm more, and it's funny, I was talking to my business partner about this the other day. He's a great leader of men because he has the patience. I'm more of a great leader of those men that lead other men because I like people who I can say something to one time and they just get it. When they don't, then my mind thinks, just give it here, I'm gonna go do it myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I still just go do it myself. Is that great if I want to grow in trucking? Probably not, right? But I have to have another strategy. So that's why I do. Whereas my business partner, why we're a good fit is because I'm going to overthink it and I'll probably come up with a better outcome, but he's going to put men to work and be patient enough to get the outcome from them than what I am. So I'm realistic about who I am. I'm not confused. I'm not making it up. I know I don't have the patience to take a grown man by the hand and say, come on, let's go. I don't it's not in me, you know? So I'm realistic with who I am.
Now, this is your business partner in another business?
Yeah, we got a tire company in New Orleans. We about to open up a car lot out there and then a couple other things. Because he's more into food and restaurant.
Okay.
So that's more what he does.
Now, when did you get into the tires?
Man, we've been in tires. I tell you what, my guy in Virginia, what's his name? Your buddy. Kamar. Yeah, we went and met with Kamar 22, 23.
Okay.
We had a sit down with him.
Another behind the scenes truck and hustle connection.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. Kamar, good people, right?
Pat
No. I met him before you, though. Met him before you.
No, you didn't.
Well,
no, you didn't.
There
no,
we
you
go.
didn't. How you meet him before me? How you meet him before me?
No, okay.
You ain't meet him before me.
Correction.
Yeah.
My business partner seen him on Truck and Hustle.
Thank you.
Come
on. Come on
you're
now.
right. You're right.
Come on now.
You're right.
Continue.
I didn't meet him through you. I met him because of you.
There you go. All right. Let's get it
But
right
anyway,
now.
yeah,
Okay,
Kamar, a good guy, man. He
is a good
invited
guy.
us up. We went hung out with him in Richmond at his spot. Kicked it with him and his brother, man. We hung out in Richmond. Good food, good city, good people, right? And he was telling us about the industry, man. And you know, me and Kamar had a little head bust. So I didn't think he liked me after that meeting. But, you know, he was like, nah, come on, Joe, man. If you can win without me, man, go do it, bro. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, you know, Kamar, I could build a trucking company, trucking tire company myself. But I don't need you like that, you know? And he was like, okay, Joe. You know, he was respectful, you know. But sometimes I could be a butthole. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But you know, what we were talking about in the meeting. Now I won't disclose that. I kind of felt like I could do that myself.
So, okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So
I won't try to drag it out of you. Go ahead. I was going to ask what happened.
We had the meeting, and I was like, yo, you know, I could do this myself. So he was like, yo, go for it. And he shook my head. He said, man, Joe, if you need me, you let me know, okay?
Damn.
And he gave me a brotherly hug.
Yeah.
Like as if he knew me 20 years.
Yeah, and then he sent you to the wolves.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but I tell you what. But after that, we opened up a tire company, and guess what?
What's
It's
that?
been years, and we still here.
And you're still rocking.
We still here, man.
Okay.
Check this out. If you're a businessman, a real businessman, it transcends. I don't care what the business is. You may not know the knowledge of it. Just get somebody around you that know, and you make final decisions and watch and see the outcome.
Yeah.
If you have it, you have it. No question. Now, that's a 1%er thing, but if you have it, you have it. You can transcend this Because, I mean, selling tires is still customer service. Selling tires is still inventory, just like trucking. Customer service, moving loads, it's the same thing. It's just that, you know, not everybody possess that brick by brick mentality.
Now you doing truck tires?
Yeah, we do trucks and cars.
Trucks and cars?
Yeah, we install them. We do the whole nine. Yeah, but I'm not even promoting that, right? We talking trucking, but we do the tire. Nah, because I'm on something bigger though. I got something bigger. Yeah, yeah, I got something bigger.
Okay.
So
talk to me.
So I'm gonna come back on. I'm gonna come see you probably by phone or whatever we do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna lunch with you. I got a site, man, that I'm building. I've been personally building this site, and it's gonna be a game changer for the whole world. I'm talking about Facebook level.
Okay.
6 years I've been working on it, working on the idea, right? And I watched a lot of people come out and try to do exactly what I discovered 6 years ago. And the beauty is, if you check my filings, you would know I started 6 years ago.
Okay.
So a lot of these companies that hire people and put people out into the market to work, they missed the mark on something. And I watched them because, you know, sometimes you got to let the crowd go and then you follow behind, right? So I watched them, I let them do their thing, and then I said, okay, maybe they get it, maybe they get it, maybe they get it, and then they didn't. So I was like, okay, I still got a window of opportunity. So I'm gonna sit down with you, you know, off air, and I'm gonna show you, and you give me your opinion on it. And if you like it, when it does take off, I'm gonna come back and see you, and we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna love it though.
I'm sure I will, man. 6
Yeah.
years in the making. I'm sure it's pretty phenomenal, man.
Yeah, no, it's dope. So
Okay, what else? What else you invested in, man? You got that. I know you got the restaurant. Still got the restaurant going, or
yeah, so we got the spot over there by the warehouse where we do the tires. Right next door is a restaurant. What we did was we leased the spot out because they had another dude in the area. Actually, so it's a food park right on the corner where the warehouse is, where our warehouse is. And one of the guys that was in the food park, man, he came over and he was like, man, I want to rent the building. So he's over there now. Great food. I don't want to call it Mexican. I guess you call it Mexican food. Yeah, Mexican food. But the food is great, so it's pretty good. We just left Phoenix looking at a restaurant spot out there probably about 2 weeks ago. So we're thinking about doing Phoenix. We want to bring New Orleans food everywhere, man, if we can. We want to get it out there because it's highly craved. A lot of people love it. A lot of people take a lot of dishes off our menus, and a lot of people from Louisiana have spread out and brought the food and out, you know, to different cities, and people love it. So why not try to do more of it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So when's the next time you on the truck, man?
In the truck?
In the truck.
I got a load that I'm supposed to do from Houston to Virginia. The one that I told you they dragged through the ditch.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that everything goes right with that because we're just waiting on permits. And if we do that, then we're going to pick up and bring it to basically Richmond area.
Okay. And that's supposed to be
when I get back, as soon as I get back this week.
Okay.
So we'll start the permitting process.
When you say we, what do you mean? Just you as the company?
Oh no, when we get back, meaning me and my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, is somebody else in the truck that I don't know about or something like that?
Nah. I tell you what, the other two trucks, I'm about to get them on the road. Honestly, I was kind of waiting because I had my trailer I was paying for, my big trailer. Mm-hmm. And
it's paid for now, right?
Yeah, it's paid for. Thank God.
Man, how much is that?
Man, originally it was $250,000. Then I went back and I spent another $100,000 on it. So I was $350,000 into it.
trailer.
Yeah.
So how much can you resell that for today?
Last time I checked, it was around $4,000 if I sold out. So, and that's not including the truck. So if I sold the whole unit, I probably can go for probably about $500,000.
Okay.
That one unit, and then I got other stuff too. I got other trailers and trucks. So.
Okay. Well, keep on going. You were talking about something. You were saying about the other trucks.
Yeah. So I got step decks. I got two other trucks. I got a Peterbilt and I got a T680. I got a brand new step deck, and then I'm probably gonna go get a stretch flatbed for the other one. And then once I roll them out, then I go from there. Some of my other partners, they want to buy more trucks, but they know how I am. I'm more of a pace myself person, so I'm not really rushing to do more. Most of my time in the beginning was a learning curve, because information is being thrown out now. I mean, like right now, but back then you didn't have that, so you literally had to sit somewhere long enough till you learn it. So it might have took you 5 years to learn how to make the smallest advancement, whereas now people are growing at rapid paces. So scaling up back then wasn't even a thing. Like, you didn't know that, and so it's pretty cool. I love the new trend. I like what the young people has done, with the industry to a certain degree.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself disciplined to not chase shiny objects and not go after these opportunities when you see them?
Shiny new objects? You mean toys or you mean business?
No. I mean business and shiny objects.
Man, I'm so bottom line dollar conscious that I know that the value is not in buying new trucks all the time. Most people buy a new truck when things are going good for a couple months. But for me, if I don't see a 5-year window or even a 6-year window, I'm really not interested in buying nothing new. I grew up with my dad having an old Mac that he rebuilt like 3 times. So if I can get by even rebuilding a truck once, that's a blessing, because when you think about it, like, okay, I redo the engine, redo the transmission. I can do that at my pace as long as it doesn't go out. I can keep that truck on the road. That truck can continuously make me money, and it can probably pay for itself, 2 or 3 times. So I look at that as well. I do understand the new truck concept. I get it, but I also know that every one of the companies that went out of business in the last 3 years had a ton of new trucks in their fleet, and they didn't have a balance. I had a conversation with a customer where I did the 135,000 pound winch. And I told him, I said, listen, his words to me, which prompted this, he was like, well, Joe, he said, man, I was trying to get my team to do this load. He said, we have the equipment. And I told him, I said, well, how confident is the manager in those drivers that would have had to move the load? Like, what do you mean? The driver's been driving XYZ amount of time on the road. We got the equipment. I said, bro, that's not always the solution. I said, listen, I watched 2 companies in my childhood. One company had 5 trucks, and they used all the contractors in the area. One company went out and brought a truck for every load that came their way. So they had like 100 trucks. The guy with the 100 trucks died broke. The guy with the 5 trucks grew a whole construction company. You have to have a balance of independence and in-house trucks, because when you put the perfect balance out there, it's sustainable. When you have 100 trucks, when the work is slow, you got 100 drivers that need to eat. You have 100 notes. You have 100 insurance or scheduled policy, mileage-wise, so you're probably pretty good on that side. But you got 100 license plates, road use tax, parking, fuel, tires, etc. So when you have all that equipment just sitting, it costs. So now you're paying all these notes, but the work doesn't slow down. What happens? Over time, your work is slow, this company is slow, that company is slow. Who buying trucks? So that's why you see the major carriers constantly selling trucks. They run them for 2 years, then they sell. They have contracts with Freightliner, Kentworth, International to buy all these trucks. But if your pace slow down, you lose out. So it's a fine balance thing is what it is. The guy that had the 5 trucks, those 5 trucks could almost go start any job. And then you bring in contractors and take those 5 and go start the next job. Bring in contractors and then go start the next job. So sometimes getting a piece of the pie and letting the independents eat is more valuable than trying to eat the whole pie yourself.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, man. Is there any load that you're like, what's like the load that you're most proud of, man? Yeah, I know you heavy haul guys got these loads. You show them on Instagram, like, I hauled this. Like, what's your version of that? Your big load that you're proud of, man.
You're asking me a 25-year question, man. I don't haul so many loads, man. All of them good.
Well, what's one that's the most memorable for you? That stands out in your mind when I ask that question?
I'll tell you the one that's most memorable to me right now. So my wife and I, we celebrated 11 years marriage. 10 years. Our 10-year anniversary last year. We're making 11 this year. And my radiator in my truck went out on my anniversary. I was scheduled to leave Louisiana, go to Mississippi, pick up a load, deliver it in Mississippi, and get back home. So my wife spent the whole day the whole evening picking up a radiator and driving to me 5 hours away, right? When she made it there, it was past 12 midnight, so I didn't see her none that day. I got it on my Instagram, actually. I put the radiator in the truck on the side of the road, fixed the truck, and then went and brought the load and went home and came back and delivered it on Monday. But that's probably the most memorable, and the reason why is because I hadn't had something like that happen to me in I don't know how long, where I had to fix a truck on the road and then go. What happened was the engine head went out, so some of the debris got into the water jackets, and it clogged up the radiator, and it burst the radiator. It blew it up.
Damn.
So, yeah, so that's probably my most memorable. But money making, man, when they pay good, they always memorable. So, you give me a good paying load, I remember it forever.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I love it though, man. Trucking is great, man. You look, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. How could it be bad? There's a lot of cleanup that need to happen. There's a lot of things that took place. I'm glad they did what they did with the Amazon situation, cleaned up that, because that was becoming a problem for everybody. You know, they were using people authorities and stuff. So I'm glad that got fixed. Shout out to whoever fixed that problem. I'm disappointed they let it happen, but it's fixed now.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's great. I love trucking. I love what I do. My kids love my trucks, man. They come out there and jump, and I'm daddy, you know, and they playing them. I try to get a picture of all of them in my driver's seat. That way, when they're young, they can remember.
They have one, yeah.
Look, this truck was here before you. You know, don't get excited. You know,
Yeah.
You're gonna grow up and leave me. My truck gonna be over there rusty and stuff.
What do you think about that new law that they just passed, Supreme Court, with the truck broker liability?
I think it's great. I mean, and you know why? Because brokers or the heartbeat, well, probably the blood, not necessarily the heart. You know, we send them to the dialysis and filter them out. But let me stop, man. But they, brokers, man, they've been skating on us for a while. I mean, they hire the cheapest drivers, take the money and run, and bear no liability. And I'm surprised that insurance companies let that happen, because every truck that roll over, you on the hook. Right. So when do y'all open up and say something?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
And then you want me to pay you more because you let him hire somebody that you chose to insure, right? But because I'm going to be here next year and he not, you won't raise my premium. Nah, man, they need to can all of them, man. I'm not going to lie to you and be honest with you. And I had a discussion with my insurance company the other day, and I told them, I said, bro, listen, y'all need to change our philosophy, man. I said, because y'all want us to pay for these things, and at the same time, you know, y'all are the ones that's letting these people in the industry. Authority is insurance. That's what people don't realize. It's not numbers. It's none of that. It's insurance. So why are you insuring them? And then when you make a bad decision, why are you lobbying to raise my premium? You know, so it's a good hustle, man. It's a pimp and a, you know.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Is there anything that you see coming down the pike that you're worried about or that concerns you that's going on in the industry? Like, what are your triggers? What's triggering you about this industry right now?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking forward to the cleanup with the brokerage thing. I kind of felt like it was a bit unfair, but it was necessary with the identity thing, where they wanted people to actually have a license and speak the language and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about ELD, English language proficiency?
Yeah, English. I felt like that was necessary because the industry is getting bad. Like, I remember a time where drivers looked out for each other. Now it's more you in my way, you know. So not necessarily do other people from other countries move the way we move. So I think that we were starting to slip as an industry, because it's like, you know, well, you're in my way, as opposed to how can I help you? And I think we have to get back to that, because truckers back then survived because it was teamwork, you know, not necessarily,
competition or competing with each other.
Well, competition to a detriment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
It was healthy competition.
It was healthy competition. So I think we need to get back to that. And I think coming down the tube, I think trucking is about to, you know, rise again. I think that's going to be good. I kind of like some of the things that's been happening outside the country. Like, you know, if we do get things figured out where we are more trading with other countries or whatever, I think that's good, because that'll help the intermodal. The reason why I'm optimistic that things will happen, and I'm happy when they do, because when container guys can go back to containers and not doing flatbed, when offshore guys can go back and do offshore and not doing flatbed, same thing with reefer. Reefer and dry van always interchange. So that'll be the same. But when everybody can get into their lane of comfort, into their niche,
competency. Right.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Now the industry is great because guys are not out of place.
Stabilizes.
They're stable, exactly. So, and that's what I look forward to. Then I get my 6 and 7 axle loads back.
No, that's actually a great point. I like how you put that, for sure.
And it's necessary.
Yeah. So outside of the business idea that you're talking about, what's the future for Gibbson Logistics, man? Just kind of more the same? Anything else that we're adding in the future? What's happening?
Yeah, so I am looking to get my other 2 trucks up and running. My goal is, at this point now, I want to kind of get to 5. I'm hopeful to probably get into the brokerage side of it myself. That way I can be more in control of freight as well.
That's new.
I think in order to grow, but in order to grow, you have to get a piece of somebody else's pie. You know, so I do want to do that at some point, and I'm looking to do that. And I wish I had did that in 23. I wish I did in 23.
Why 23?
Well, because the regulation wasn't coming down as much as it is now.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, hell, I'd be full boom and swinging, you know.
Okay.
So,
You said 23. I thought there was a specific reason for that.
yeah, well, that was to beat some of the new regulation.
Okay, gotcha.
But then on top of that, now I would be full swing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know, so because it does take credit and stuff like that, like not that your personal credit, but it does take your credit throughout the industry of paying carriers in order to get factoring and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, that's great. And look, I switched over to OTR. That was, so because of you know what I'm saying? And great relationships, you know, so stuff like that, you know. I'm looking to do that. Brokerage, I want to get at least 5 trucks, kind of like the model what I was telling you. And that's what made me take notice to that. If I put 5, I'm fine with those 5 starting any project, and then I'll bring in contractors.
So 5 drivers?
Yeah, 5.
So you are going to hire some guys, bring some guys on?
On a low scale, 5 only.
That's not.
Yeah.
It's not a mega carrier, but it's still 5 guys.
It is, but it's easy to find 5 good guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to find 5.
Okay. So, I like it. Yeah. So and you're gonna start a brokerage. You're gonna get on the broker side. How is it to break into that? Like, because that's very specialized niche. You're gonna do heavy haul freight, I'm assuming, right? Like what you know.
Well, I like the port.
Okay.
I love the port. I got a lot of good freight forwarders that I talk with all the time because I'm on the port side, so I like those guys. I got a lot of friends in the broker industry that they have customers they no longer service that they want to pass on. So I think that would be good. And then, yes, on the heavy haul side, I would like that too, because with the heavy haul side is more of a take what you want and contract out the rest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. How do you approach becoming a broker? Because there's always like the little bit of a tension between like brokers and carriers and all that. Like, what will you do? What will you do differently as a broker? Like, how will you approach getting into that space?
So I'm gonna answer the differently part first, right?
Okay.
Differently, I would take the correct percentage and give them the rest.
What's the correct percentage?
I think 10 or 15 is great.
Okay.
And if you're doing heavy haul, sometimes even 7 is great. Because if you only taking 7% from a man, you'll probably bring out the better carriers. You know what I mean? If you got a pie of 20,000, 7% is great. Now, I understand if you're doing $350 loads and you want to take 25% or whatever, that's cool. But more than likely with a $350 load, it's probably a gang of them. So you may take a little more, you may take a little less, but it's enough for you to at some point eat off of.
Right.
So that would be the difference I would do there. Now, so far as just the business aspect, I don't know. You know, I would be fair. You know, I would expect from drivers what I wanted brokers to expect from me. Like, I would give them the proper amount of time to pick up the load and deliver it. I would be courteous to guys. I would work with them. I probably wouldn't talk directly to the customers because that's not my thing. But the drivers, I'm relatable. I could talk to them and say, hey, listen, man, look, your truck broke down. It's cool. You want me to send somebody else? Nah, okay, cool. When you think you're going to be back up? All right, cool. I'm going to stick with you on this one and let them finish the load as long as I can respectfully with the customer.
Right.
So it's just having that understanding, being relatable, because that's the side that I lived on for years, you know.
100%.
Now, the customer, it's hard for me, but I'll probably hire a salesman because I'm not taking no yelling at me. Yeah, you ain't yelling at me. You ain't telling me get it done.
I'll just hire that out.
For real, and know who you are, right?
I was going to say, you know who you are.
I know who I am. If you holler at me on this phone, I'm probably going to lose you as a customer. I'm going to holler back.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap it up and bring it to a close, man, since the last time we talked, what have been some of the major lessons that you've gotten about this industry and what you do?
Yeah, I tell you, bro, I'm not gonna say who. Man, I almost lost everything. I hired on a family member, put him in the industry. That's how I got stuck with one of the trucks. And man, he wasn't ready, and it was my fault. I felt like I can coach him up, and I just say he was coachable. But he had other advice, and that advice put me in a pickle. Man, I lost thousands on that project. And one of the things that saved me was my knowledge, my experience, and my ability to build from nothing. The beauty this time was I wasn't building from nothing. I had forklifts, I had trucks, I had trailers, I had compressors. I had everything that I needed to run a business this time. When I built in the beginning, I had none of that. I just had a truck. I didn't even have a trailer. So I didn't even have a fuel card. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you know, sometimes having a humble beginning, it humbles you twice, when you got to start over. But more importantly, having that humble beginning helps you when you hit a crunch. And that's why I tell people, man, money doesn't matter. If you put in the work, if you learn the industry the way you should learn it and be dedicated to what you do, I would even say even attempt mastery on every level, from mechanic to driver to trailers to insurance to everything that you have to do. You can overcome anything, and that's what helped me overcome. When I took that loss, my yellow truck went down right afterwards. My engine head went out, and I had to jump in a flatbed and pay the big trailer note and all of that. And if you recall the last interview, I said it may not pay for it for a long time, but it'll pay for it for a short time. So I had to get back to what I spoke about in that last interview, and a lot of things that I said, it came right back around full circle. So I was basically taking my own advice. But in the end, in reality, it worked. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. I'm still thriving, still making money, still, hell, I'm up here.
Still the heavy haul giant.
I'm still the heavy haul giant, man. Look, I'm here, man. So
no doubt.
But look, before we go, man, how the family, how the kids, man?
Family
I know
is
you're
great.
big on that.
The kids are great. Everybody's amazing, man. I can't complain. Blessed, and just living life. Everybody's getting big. I'm getting older. Just enjoying life, man. That's it.
Well, one thing I pat you on your back on, man. I love how you post your queen and you make it known that you made a good choice.
Oh, 100%.
And I like that.
She wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I could tell. But you know what I like about it, man, because it reminds us, man, sometimes, man, when you see somebody doing it the right way, get on board and follow that.
Yeah. Well, I want to be an example. Like, I literally, I'm glad you said that, because I do that intentionally to be an example. Like, you ain't got to hide her, man. It's cool.
Nah, and I want you to know I see that.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that, man. That's what's up,
for
man.
For sure.
But other than that, man, love the platform. I love being here. I love contributing, and I love you contributing to what I'm doing. So that's great, man. Always, man. You got to come see me in New Orleans, man.
You've invited me, and I definitely got to get to New Orleans, bro. I've been to Houston 1,000 times, and I'm 2-3 hours away.
In order to get from Jersey to Houston, you got to pass.
From Jersey to Houston, New Orleans?
Yeah, you got to
I've never drove. I've only flown.
That plane, it go right by. But this is what you do. You do.
Talk to me.
You got to come down for Essence.
That's an idea.
You let me know you coming, and I'm going to have 2 tickets for you.
Okay.
I'm going to have 4 tickets. Me, you,
Big dog,
your girl, sorry, my apologies. Me, you, your wife, and my wife, right? And we go hang out for Essence, man. Come see the city, man.
When is Essence?
Essence, I think, is in July. Every year in July.
That's a bet. That's actually my wife's birthday month, too. She's July 29th.
Okay.
She's a Leo.
All right.
So.
Well, that's coming up. If you come in this year, let me know 9. If not, then we'll do it next year.
Okay.
But let me know sooner or later so I can get us some tickets, man. But the tickets is on me, and I'm going to take y'all to get some of the best steak in the city, man.
Okay. Well, I don't eat steak. You fish?
Okay. I got you on the fish.
Seafood. I'm a seafood guy.
Hey, you coming to the seafood capital. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Baltimore may beg to differ, but
that's a fact.
They might got more of it, but we cook it better.
All right.
Y'all hear that? I'm
going to take you up on that, man.
I'm serious, man.
Okay.
I'm serious. Look, New Orleans is the spot, man, and until you dive into it, you don't understand it. We talk a little crazy. We cut a few words off, but you know what? In Louisiana, you're family until you mess that up.
Yeah.
So if you come to Louisiana, you family. I'm telling you. And that's what it is.
Okay.
Come see us.
All right. We on it. So this is a new question I want to start asking my guests.
Okay.
Who's somebody that you're following on social media right now that everybody else should follow? I want to start spreading some love out there and start, building like a nice little web out here. Who's a dope follow for you? Like, they could be on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you follow your folks. Who's a good follower you would say people should follow this person?
Am I cheating if I open up my phone right now?
No. Okay. Go ahead. Open up your phone.
Because, see, I'm going to be honest. I'm not really a searcher. When I get on social media, I'm more of a poster.
Okay.
I post and I get off.
Yeah.
But I'm almost willing to bet.
This is a way that we could show love to other people, right? That may not be on platforms yet. Yo, this is somebody you should go follow. So who's that? Who's that person? And why should somebody follow?
I'm trying to think, who do I take reverence with on social media? Man, that's a good question. That is a great question. I tell you this, I can't think of a specific person, but I do like my people who inject positivity. So anything that's positive, like I used to watch the guy from Detroit all the time, the one that spoke motivational speaker.
Okay.
I would watch him a lot. I like the young people because they inject life into you, like positive. Young people don't see the crash. They just see open highway to go 100 miles an hour, right?
That's right.
When you get a certain age, you like, man, I could wreck, and if I wreck, what would happen, right?
Yeah.
But young people, like, they're just full of life. So
Tell me about
I like the youth, but I like the older and the wiser. Man, off the top of my head, who do I follow? That's a good one. You know, I don't know, man. You got me. I don't know. You got me.
Well, maybe you're just a leader and you're just not a follower, man. I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Let's leave
let's
leave it there, man. Maybe you're just not a follower. You know?
I don't follow nobody, man. I do follow some people,
you
but I don't
tried.
follow nobody.
You gave it a valiant effort. You try to go on your phone and see who it is.
Yeah. I tell you, man, just follow somebody who's everything you're not and wish you was. How about that one?
I like that.
So if they're everything you're not, but they wish you was, then that's fine. And I tell you what, again, I notice how you post. So that means I see it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's
I
a
see
fact.
people,
That's
and
a
when
fact.
I see somebody doing something that I like or probably should do more of, I take notice.
Right. It's the behavior. It's not necessarily the person, but it's the behavior that
Behavior.
you follow, right?
But I'm still following your motion.
Yeah.
Family value.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's
a fact.
facts. Yeah.
I love it. All right, man. You know what time it is, man. Final thought, man. What do you want to leave the hustle fam with, man? This is your second time on the platform. You are definitely hustle family. You are family for sure. But what do you want to leave the folks with?
Man, stay on your grind. Like, continue to push forward. I know sometimes it can be cloudy. Maybe haven't seen the sun in a few days, but I promise you it's gonna rise again. Just stay focused. Stay on your grind. Block out the outside noise. Put in the work. And I don't mean work harder per se at the specific task, but work harder at the knowledge. I work less and make more. Now I worked harder in my younger days and made a lot less. So put in the work. That's my motto. Put in the work in every facet of what you're doing. Master it and watch and see how the money wrap back around to you. So, you know, if money is your goal, success was my goal. Money just come with it.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct.
Yes, a byproduct. That's it.
Joe, this has been dope, man.
Always.
It's which one we
Whatever
doing?
one work for you.
There it is, man.
There we go.
Hustle. Go ahead. You got something?
No. We good.
All right, let's close it out. Hustle fam. You know what we do around this time. If you smell something burning, it's only your desire. Myself, Joe Gipp, the heavy haul giant. We are out.
What's up, y'all? It's Rahmel from Truck and Hustle, and I am super excited to announce that we are finally launching our Truck and Hustle Entrepreneurs community. This is a place where entrepreneurs just like you can connect, collaborate, partner, and win together. Everybody's been asking me for years, man. They say, Rahmel, you have such a crazy network. All these people who have been on the platform. You need to create something where everybody can come together and work together. And that's what we've done here with the Truck and Hustle Entrepreneurs community, man. You'll see people from Truck and Hustle along with other business people that you see out there in the world moving and shaking. You guys can collaborate, network together, and win together. Go to the description right now and sign up for our first inaugural event. It's called Contracts and Cash Flow. This event is going to set the tone for your business in 2025. I know we're almost in the second quarter, so we got to hurry up, man. We got to get things moving. So let's make it happen. Click, join the community, and let's go. See you guys in a couple weeks. All right, y'all, listen, I'm happy to announce that we finally launched our YouTube memberships. Listen, if you want to support Truck and Hustle for all the hard work that we've been doing over the past 5 years, this is where you need to be. As a part of our memberships, number one, you'll get exclusive access to all of our archive content. Number two, we'll be doing at least one live webinar with one of the guests or somebody else from our network that you love to continue to add value to you and your business. Third, we'll be having exclusive behind the scenes content that we shoot and doesn't, make the final cut. So make sure you go check it out. Get that subscription right now and join us, man. TNH forever. Let's go. All right, guys, if you love Truck and Hustle and you love the interviews and the information that we're providing week to week, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All right, Hustle fam.